Hi everyone, this is Paul Lange for Disciplined Trading Strategies with this week's Trade of the Week video. This week ending August 22nd of 2021, the stock was LOW. This happened on the 18th, which was a Wednesday. This was based on a Tier 2 gap that was upgraded to a Tier 1 type of entry. It was simple management and reward to risk about 2.9 to 1. Take a look at that trade in just a second. First of all, as usual, this week at DTS for members, we have the Monday biweekly scanning night. Come join us for that. As usual, you will get your invites in the mail that day. And also on Wednesday is a DTS educational event called The Walkaway. It's about management concepts. You can read the slide there if you like. For both of these events, if you're not a DTS member, if you're seeing this on YouTube, hop on over to the DTS homepage and you can find out how to become a member there. It's free, no credit card, don't even need a name. You will just get invites to great events like this. Daily chart of LOW. You can see the day before the trade we had this big red breakdown bar breaking below the last month and a half of trading. And this day we're going to gap above that bar right there. Boom, huge green bar. I did not get all of that. I'm embarrassed to say. I got a good chunk of it, but even getting into this was a good trade. We'll take a look at the hourly chart. There's not much to look at here. The hourly chart doesn't tell us much more other than we had a big gap up and a big run up. I also want you to notice that first hourly bar, that entire day's move occurred. Finally got half of that. Entry just off the open. Next, the 5-minute chart. This moved so fast, there's not a lot of detail to see on this one either. We simply opened, and because this was what I call upgraded to a Tier 1 entry, it meant that this stock was not going to go higher without me. The reason I selected this trade, it wasn't actually the biggest trade of the week. There were some good trades this week, but this was just kind of a classic because it was a fairly rare Tier 1 type of entry. The gap was technically a Tier 2, but when you look at the quality of this gap, it did have the urgency requirement, meaning that I was not going to miss this. And this is where a lot of traders sometimes miss things. To me, there's this adage out there in trading that missed money is better than lost money. It's not a bad saying if you're new. It's not a great saying though when you get to be experienced, because I do think missed money is a crime. And what traders often do is sometimes they will aggressively try to take a gap like this and stop out a lot. But on some gaps where you have to make the decision you think it's going to go, you can't miss it. So you can be wrong, but at least if you're right, you make the money on this, because anybody waiting on this one would have never got into it really. So a very aggressive entry. It ended up coming just pennies over where that thing opened. And you can see here my targets were not all that impressive. Now the first target or two, okay, but somewhere between that second and third target, I probably should have hung on a little bit more. Keep in mind, at target 2, that had put in the biggest daily bar it had seen in months. So, hard to always predict you're going to see the biggest bar times 5 on the daily chart. Expected on a trade like this, yes, I would have liked to got a little more out of it, but it's still about a 3R trade. And this is what I call the free money. The whole thing was taken in less than 20 minutes. So got to kind of grab that. Note the high of the day on this. Very often, it was actually right at 10:30. 1-minute chart, again, even with this big move, there's not a whole lot more detail. I ended up getting in, again, I was not going to miss it, but it ended up moving down a little bit the opening minute. So it was in that second minute I actually got into it. And then you can see kind of targets there, big pop initially, a little cheap on the target. Second one, kind of hard to pass that one because you got those big bars and you don't know how high you are going to go. And the third one was trailed out after that really big bar that happened about 2 bars before where I took that. And you can see I did leave all this on the table. That was the high of the day right there, actually happening at about 10:20. For trades like this, come join us in the DTS Trading Room. Hop on over to the DTS website and you can figure out how to join us if you like. This is Paul for DTS. Good trading, everybody.